The world of artificial intelligence is moving faster than anyone imagined. Just a few years ago, OpenAI's GPT-3 was considered the most advanced language model ever built. It could write essays, answer questions, and even generate code. It was the model that truly introduced AI to the mainstream. But fast forward to today, and a new challenger has entered the arena. Anthropic's Claude. Built by former OpenAI researchers, Claude is not just another AI chatbot. It's a direct response to the flaws, risks, and limitations of GPT-3. And at the heart of this rivalry is Anthropic's co-founder, who left OpenAI with a bold vision to build a safer, more reliable, and ultimately more powerful AI. So, what makes Claude different? How does it compare to GPT-3? And what does Anthropic's co-founder see as the next big leap in AI? That's exactly what we're breaking down today. Chapter 1: The Rise of GPT-3. To understand Claude, we first need to rewind to the world before Anthropic existed. Back in 2020, OpenAI released GPT-3, a model with 175 billion parameters. At the time, it was mind-blowing. For the first time, AI could generate long, coherent, human-like text at scale. Startups began building entire businesses on top of GPT-3, copywriting tools, coding assistants, research bots, all fueled by this one model. It was the first time founders and developers realized AI is no longer a research project, it's a product. But there was a problem. GPT-3 was powerful, but it wasn't always safe. It could generate biased, harmful, or misleading content. It sometimes hallucinated facts, and while impressive, it didn't always feel controllable. Inside OpenAI, some researchers grew worried. They wanted to make AI not just powerful, but aligned with human values. And that disagreement set the stage for a major split. Chapter 2: The Birth of Anthropic. In 2021, several former OpenAI employees, including Dario Amodei, left the company. Their concern? That AI was becoming too powerful to fast, without enough safeguards. So they launched Anthropic, with a mission to build AI that was not just useful but safe, interpretable, and steerable. Their flagship product? Claude, named after Claude Shannon, the father of information theory. A fitting tribute, because Anthropic wanted Claude to represent clarity, reliability, and a new way of thinking about AI. Anthropic raised hundreds of millions of dollars in funding from backers who believed safety was the next frontier. Unlike other AI startups chasing hype, Anthropic built its entire identity around constitutional AI, a method that uses principles, rules, and ethics baked into the model's training. In short, Claude was born to solve GPT-3's biggest weaknesses. Chapter 3: GPT-3's Strengths and Weaknesses. Let's break it down. GPT-3 is fast, flexible, and massively creative. It can spin up ideas in seconds, generate marketing copy, help with code, and even simulate conversations. For startups, it became the go-to engine. But GPT-3 had critical flaws. Hallucination: it often made up facts. Bias: it sometimes reflected harmful stereotypes. Steerability: getting it to follow instructions consistently was tricky. Safety: without filters, it could generate unsafe or offensive responses. These flaws weren't deal breakers for some users, but for serious enterprise adoption, they were barriers. This is exactly where Claude positioned itself as the smarter alternative. Chapter 4: What makes Claude different. Claude isn't just another GPT. It was built from the ground up with a different philosophy. Anthropic introduced constitutional AI. Instead of relying only on reinforcement learning from human feedback like GPT-3's Rolf, they designed Claude to follow a written constitution of principles. This gave it a framework to reason about what's safe, what's harmful, and what's aligned with human values. The result? Claude tends to be more cautious, more helpful, and less likely to produce dangerous outputs. Users often describe it as more thoughtful compared to GPT-3's sometimes unpredictable creativity. And while GPT-3 feels like raw horsepower, Claude feels like a safer, more guided co-pilot. It's less likely to go rogue. Chapter 5: Anthropic's co-founder speaks. Dario Amodei, Anthropic's co-founder, has been very clear about his vision. He believes the future of AI isn't just about bigger models, but about controllable models. Models that businesses, governments, and individuals can trust. In interviews, he has said things like, "We want to build AI systems that people can actually rely on in the real world. That means safety, that means interpretability, and that means responsibility." This is the key difference. OpenAI's GPT-3 was built to showcase capability. Anthropic's Claude was built to showcase reliability. For startups, this matters. If you're building a customer-facing product, you need an AI that won't say something offensive or false. Claude is positioned as the enterprise-friendly, safer choice. Chapter 6: Claude versus GPT-3 in action. Let's imagine a simple test. You ask both models, how do I invest $1,000 wisely? GPT-3 might generate a creative but sometimes risky answer suggesting specific stocks or even making up financial advice. Claude, on the other hand, is more likely to respond with a cautious framework, explaining diversification, risk tolerance, and pointing you toward reliable resources. Another example, writing code. GPT-3 is excellent at generating quick snippets, but it can hallucinate libraries or syntax. Claude is often better at double-checking logic, spotting potential bugs, and explaining what the code does. The difference is subtle, but meaningful. GPT-3 is like a brainstorm partner. Claude is like a careful advisor. Chapter 7: The AI Arms Race. Here's where it gets interesting. GPT-3 was just the beginning. OpenAI quickly moved to GPT 3.5 and GPT-4, while Anthropic expanded Claude into multiple versions: Claude 1, 2, and beyond. Each upgrade raised the stakes. Bigger context windows, smarter reasoning, safer responses. Both companies are racing, but with different philosophies. OpenAI's path, push capability, then patch safety. Anthropic's path, prioritize safety, then expand capability. This rivalry is shaping the entire AI industry. And according to Anthropic's co-founder, the winner won't just be the company with the biggest model. It'll be the company that makes AI safe enough for society to trust. Chapter 8: Why startups care about Claude. So why are startups, the scrappy builders of the tech world, paying attention to Claude? Simple. Reliability equals scalability. If you're building a SaaS, an AI copilot, or a customer service bot, you don't want a PR disaster because your model said something offensive. Claude lowers that risk. Some founders even prefer Claude for long documents and knowledge-heavy tasks. Thanks to its training philosophy, it tends to stay on topic and avoid going off the rails. For startups in legal tech, healthcare, or education, that matters. This is why we're seeing an increasing number of AI-first startups experimenting with Anthropic's APIs instead of defaulting to GPT-3. Chapter 9: Challenges ahead. Of course, Claude isn't perfect. No model is. It can still hallucinate, still make mistakes, and sometimes feels overly cautious. Users sometimes complain that Claude refuses harmless requests out of safety concerns, and OpenAI isn't standing still. With GPT-4 and beyond, they've closed many of the gaps. Plus, OpenAI has the advantage of brand recognition and massive developer adoption. For Claude to truly dethrone GPT-3 and its successors, it'll need more than safety. It'll need capability at scale. It'll need to win the trust of developers, not just enterprises. Chapter 10: The Future of Claude versus GPT. So where does this battle go from here? If you ask Anthropic's co-founder, the answer is clear. Safety-first AI is the future. Governments are beginning to regulate AI. Enterprises want models they can trust with sensitive data. Everyday users want AI that won't mislead them. On all these fronts, Claude is well positioned. But OpenAI is still the giant in the room. GPT models are deeply integrated into Microsoft's ecosystem, powering products from Office to GitHub. That's a distribution advantage Claude doesn't yet have. The likely future? Not one winner, but two philosophies. GPT for raw creativity, Claude for safety and reliability. And together, they'll push the frontier of what AI can do. Conclusion: building the next big AI. At the end of the day, Claude versus GPT-3 isn't just about two models. It's about two visions for the future of AI. One vision says, build the most powerful AI possible, then fix the problems as they come. The other says, build safe, aligned AI first, then expand its power. Anthropic's co-founder is betting that the second vision will win. That in the long run, trust will matter more than raw power. So the question isn't just which model is better today. It's which philosophy will define AI tomorrow. And that, my friends, is the real battle. So what do you think? Is Claude really the safer, smarter alternative to GPT-3? Or is GPT still the king of AI? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more deep dives into the AI revolution. Because trust me, the next chapter in this battle is just beginning.